It's now the third week of quarantine, and I feel like if I don't switch things up, it's gonna start getting a little bit boring. The last 2 weeks have kind of been in a cycle of working out, doing schoolwork, eating, and sleeping. It's just the same things over and over again. The purpose of these videos is both for entertainment now, but also entertainment in the future, when we're all older and wondering what life was like during the COVID-19 pandemic. To keep things interesting, this week I'm gonna try a different approach to documenting life. Instead of my life laid out like a series of unfortunate events, this week I'm gonna give myself 2 minutes each day to describe a detail of life. All these focus areas will be tied together by a common thread. This week is change. Time is the only commodity that we all share. No matter your race or net worth, we all have 24 hours of it in our day. I try to balance my time doing activities that I both enjoy and I feel are productive. Because we now have school from home, COVID-19 has given me an opportunity to get my productive activities done faster so I can have more time to play. Before I explain how I spend my day, let me clarify. Black is for sleep, blue is for work, school, home, or paid varieties. Red is for exercise, yellow is for family time, and green represents unproductive awake time. For example, riding the bus or browsing YouTube. To start, let's look at my average day, pre-pandemic, from this winter. I sleep from 11 to 7, then exercise for 1 hour before heading to school at 8. The actual brain work doesn't begin until 9. I'm at school for 7 hours until 3, then spend at least 2 hours exercising before some good family dinner time. The rest of my evening depends on the day, but most often is homework of mixed productivity levels. When school was canceled, things got a little mixed up. I was able to sleep later and work out in the morning, but I also became more unproductive. Of course, there's always a little review to do and checking in with teachers. On the plus side, there's now more family time and more sleep. As of today, Monday, online school will be asynchronous, which means I get to work on my own time. Starting next week, I'll wake up a little earlier to get some exercise before logging on, and then work hard all morning to get all my work done with time to spare. Hopefully this strategy will work, and I'll have all afternoon to exercise more, have family time, and be unproductive without feeling bad about it. Today's Tuesday, and it's one of those days where you can feel winter turning into spring. I'm going for my run today without a shirt on because it's springtime. All the plants are growing, all the snow is gone. So I'm gonna read a poem about spring. The poem is called "The Light Exists in Spring" and it's by Emily Dickinson. A light exists in spring, not present on the year, at any other period, when March is scarcely here. A color stands abroad on solitary hills that science cannot overtake, but human nature feels. It waits upon the lawn, it shows the furthest tree. Upon the furthest slope we know, it almost speaks to me. Then, as horizons step, or noons report away, without the formula of sound, it passes, and we stay. The rubber band, when it's working, it's stretched taut when it's holding things together. If you stretch it too far, it'll break. And I think this is similar to how we were living our lives before this coronavirus hit. We were all stretched taut under stress. So we're going. Some people snap, some people stay in their nice tautness. But then coronavirus hit and we were flung away. Coronavirus flung us, and for some people that increased their work a ton, for doctors and nurses and emergency personnel. But for others, it left them with new time to interact with their kids or take up that hobby that they used to do. And for me, mine used to be taught like this, but it's probably closer to this now. Not completely flat, only studying for my AP exams now and doing my online health. But having that little bit more slack has given me, and I think a lot of people, time to reevaluate what they really like doing. For me, I've made a lot more YouTube videos and made t-shirts, and I've been reading more than I normally would. I think it helps us be both creative and find what we like doing. I think it's important to remember this in-between stage, how we miss the way things were just a month ago, but still are so unsure about how things are going to end up in a few months from now. Even Benjamin Franklin's famous saying, only two things are certain in life, death and taxes, may not be true because the tax day has been pushed out to July. My hope is that by having this snapshot in time that I'll be able to come back and look at this in a year or 5 years, even 30 or 50 years, and see how much or how little we've changed. Currently 6:30 a.m. and I'm up this early because we're about to go on a bike ride. I know that just a few days ago I talked about having block scheduling and doing the same thing each day, but one of the great things about doing things from home is that I can change things up if I want. The plan is to bike over to Como and then take Wheelock to the Gateway Trail, and hopefully we can take that all the way to Stillwater. Look, it's a snowman.
It's a snowman.
We're at Duluth Junction. This is the turnaround point. We rode from St. Paul all the way up to Browns Creek, and then we're gonna ride back. Just took a break to fly the drone. Now we gotta bike fast to catch up to Mom and Dad. This is my workshop. Today I'll be using my in-situation resource utilization skills to turn this into a studio for doing school from home. Before we make anything new though, we need to do a little bit of cleanup. First thing we're gonna do down here, get new lighting. New lights, 3, 2, 1. So bright. We got the new lights right here and right here. Now that we got the lighting done, the next step is to turn this sitting desk into a standing one. I only want the standing desk to go from about there to there. So the first step is to clear all of this out of the way. Find the dimensions. I got my sketch made. Now it's time to find a board and cut it out. We're gonna glue together 3 of these. We have to cut them so that they can glue together. Spreading the glue out. So now we have the whole desktop. Now we just need to make a leg. The desk is now finished and time for installing. Voila! Now it's time to fill this desk up. Today's episode of quarantine content is a little bit different. Today we are doing haircuts.
As soon as you say don't move, I have like the most
Don't talk
worst.
either, Kai. Talking moves your head. Okay. I think that Kai's done. Did not do much to the top. The sides, back. It's Andy's turn. Oh, this will be great. Look at that.
A lot of gray hair.
Today, instead of filming part of my life, I decided to pose a question to some friends to see how they are feeling. The two questions that I asked were, what change from the virus has surprised you the most?
I'd say the change to online school, all the infrastructure that's needed to have online school is amazing.
One thing that has surprised me the most about coronavirus is how scared people are of each other.
One thing that surprised me is how fast everything's shut down.
I think obviously the quarantine is the big one. Nothing has ever happened before to this degree. My parents have said the same thing. My grandparents said the same thing. The other big surprise to me personally was that of just seeing people's character revealed. You hear these stories about all these people doing these crazy things because of this outbreak, and it's just, to me, it's like, wow, that's the real nature of humanity. Like, that's who we are. Like, if you tear away all the nice stuff and all the pleasantries, that's what you get down to, people's selfishness, I guess.
And how will the coronavirus change how we live once it's passed?
I think that there's going to be a lot more, not necessarily online school, but working from home, and maybe more online school, but specifically working from home.
Two things that are going to be different afterwards is that there's not going to be any more middle seats on the plane, and we're not going to shake hands in church.
Something I think is going to be different after is I hope people take less for granted, but I also think that there will be less people outside.
I hope that this gives us a greater respect for the elderly generations. I know a lot of us younger people, including myself, tend to sometimes chastise or look down on the elderly generation, and I think that's another thing we take for granted. I just hope that's something that we can come out of this realizing that their value more than we do now. My hope is that after all of this is over, we as a community and a nation and a global community can take what we've learned and adopt a heart of gratitude as we move forward in life and realize how blessed we are to have the things that we do and the connections with other people.